everybody, welcome back. Chris McCormick, Vice President of Tour and Education, joined by Blake Smith, Master Fitter, and we are here in our Scottsdale studio checking out the new 2023 Cobra Aerojet Driver family. So today we're going to take a look at all three offerings that we have in the Max, the LS, and, core driver here. Yeah. This thing is awesome looking. Yeah. New innovations in technology. We've got three big changes that we're seeing in this driver. Why don't you give us a rundown what we're looking at?
Yeah, so the three big changes. First, let me say that last season, the Cobra driver was a great performer. It was the sleeper driver, I think, of the year. Sold a lot of them. A lot of people had speed gains as far as club head speed goes and ball speed. When we see that, it's a winner. I think they improved from last year. So their aerodynamics got a little bit faster. A couple guys named Bryson and Kyle both got speed gains.
Hey, those guys can move it pretty good, right?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Other than that, we've got a power bridge on the bottom part of this golf club. I said speed because it increases speed. So it is the power bridge, and then a power shell behind this face. So they've entered into the AI market. So yes. Artificial intelligence has designed the back part of this golf club like other designers, really making the toe and heel misses where they focus, those are faster. So we're gonna test them in the bay and we're gonna see how it goes.
So as good as last year's driver was, I'm expecting to see good things. And new face, always fun to test the new tech.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So with that, let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
First one out of the gate, gonna be Aerojet LS. Now, a couple of pieces of tech that we kind of highlighted on in the intro to this video is brand new face design. So also really cool story with aerodynamics and brand new incorporation of technology inside of the head. So first impressions, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I like what they're doing as far as making those bad shots good. When you make a thin shot, get out there and have ball speed, that's really good design. That's what I like to tell people when they're gonna get fit, if they have golf clubs that are old and they haven't been fit for a while. They're like 11 years old or 8 years old or whatever. You can hit anything in the center and it's going to probably get out there, but it's all about the miss hits. And these companies, and especially Cobra, they're really focusing in on the off-center hits. So that power bridge underneath the center of gravity, that's going to really stabilize. And then with the way that face is made, AI knows where people miss it, so sure. They're gonna make those misses a lot better. I'm gonna see how it goes right now.
Let's see it.
Aesthetically on top, it looks great. That carbon on top it's really pleasing. And then this little white ring around here, it kind of draws your eye into the middle. It looks a little bit smaller than it actually is. It's really square. That's how last year's was. That's what I liked about it. All right, let's give it a whirl. So that was low and on the heel. I'm gonna show off the misses apparently on this one.
Not all of us can dime it just every time. Golf's a game of misses, as we always tell our clients, right?
Yep.
And custom fitting comes down to mismanagement.
Yeah, I always say, hey, straight miss, that's the mark of a good fitting.
100%.
All right, that was
beat on. That had a good
on.
Sound there.
Yeah, that was more center dotted.
And like we kind of touched on in the intro to the video, a lot of focus and energy was really put into the aerodynamic story. So the whole shape of the entire Aerojet family resembles more of that airplane wing. Yeah. And they've softened up all of the lines through the face, in the sole, transitioning around the skirt to the aft of the driver, and everything is designed just fast.
Yep, and you can feel it. When I'm getting through, I can feel it just wants to go fast, like a Ferrari. See, I'm getting a little bit more used to this thing, and it is like a Ferrari. It's like the more I want to punch it, the faster it wants to go. All right, one more. That was a good miss. Hit that on the toe. Didn't gear too much. Got out there pretty good.
Yeah, again, playable miss.
Yeah.
And spin still held 2150.
Yeah,
So even though high toe, that's one of those that can kind of get into that realm of knuckleball, get away from us, and re-teeing.
Yeah.
I'd say that one, more often than not, going to be playable.
It's still on the golf course,
Still on the golf course.
not in somebody's pool.
Exactly. So let's close this guy out, take a look at some of these numbers here, and then jump into kind of that core Aerojet head where most of us are going to be.
All right.
So first head out of the gate, Aerojet LS. So pretty good showing for, first look at a new driver. How would you say that compares to what we saw previous gen in LTDx LS?
Yeah, so I really like that LS driver. I hit it really, really far. Club head speed was pretty high in that one. This felt like it was a little bit faster. It's obviously, it looks more aerodynamic, so there's that. Ball speed was right in the same vicinity. I think I had 168.5 with the LS, but this is a smaller sample size.
Sure.
But it's real close. I like the matchup between the 10.6 and the 2500 spin.
Absolutely.
That's a good matchup. We look at matchups. If you're going to launch it a little bit higher, you need to spin a little bit lower. Launch a little bit lower, you need to spin a little bit higher. But it was pretty consistent there. And standard deviation at 295 carry. This is a weapon.
It's at 295 carry, that would be, I would say, above average for the majority of us in the amateur ranks.
Yeah, that's going to carry the junk that I got hit over.
Definitely. So, good first showing. Now let's go into the more forgiving head, and let's hit the core driver, that Aerojet.
Let's see what it's got.
So transitioning into kind of that core Aerojet family driver here, still going to have power bridge, still going to have that new face tech. Biggest difference we're going to see in this is now that weight moved low and back away from the face, giving us that lower, deeper center of gravity, raising MOI, a little more forgiveness. And so I would expect to see maybe touch more spin and also maybe a little less ball speed with that CG back away from the face.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Whenever I see a weight back here, I'm thinking as much MOI, biggest sweet spot they could make. Obviously, when I put it down, it looks really similar, maybe a touch bigger. Face isn't quite as square as the LS, but it's not really built to be that way.
Sure.
It's pretty neutral though. It's very flat and just looks like the head of a hammer. That's something that last generation Cobra looked like to me. It's just a hammer wants to hit the back of that ball. So yeah, just like you said, this should go higher, maybe spin a little bit more, gonna be a little bit more left bias. Let's give it a roll. That felt ripped. That was really good. A little miss there. I played for the cut, aimed a little bit left. And it did. It didn't cut enough to get right back to it, but that felt like it was blasted. Yeah, it was hit hard.
Ball speed looks to be pretty sustainable. New face tech's working.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent across the face. That was nuked.
Good ball there.
Yeah, I'd take that all day, every day.
Big carry number.
Yeah, this is fast too, and it didn't. Spin rate didn't go way up. This is really good too. It's really forgiving, and the spin stays down.
Nice. Another playable option here.
Yeah, this is a good one.
So let's take a look and see how this compares to what we saw in that LS model. So looking at these guys side by side, we've got the Aerojet core driver, Aerojet LS, and like we had kind of thought, ball speed came down just a touch, launch was a little higher, spin came up a little bit. We did have a low spinner in that sample that's kind of skewing the data a little bit, but for the most part, just as we kind of anticipated, accuracy downrange improved, a little more forgiving head, right?
Yeah, that was, and you could feel it. The LS was a little bit harder, so it was a little bit more like a hammer. This one was a little softer off the face. This one surprised me. That ball speed's high. Just a little bit higher in launch, just a little bit higher in spin. It's probably a little bit more than that. Just like you said, there was a lower one that threw that off, but that's gonna happen. But yeah, I dropped it in a bucket at 294. This is good, and it feels fast.
And even the shot that we saw that was out off the toe, that in some of the other models that we've tested in the past, that's the one that gets a little scary, especially for the better player. Spin drops and just kind of wants to nosedive out of the air. This was sustained. So now for the fun one. We're gonna go into Aerojet Max, which is most forgiving head and has that little bit more of a draw bias characteristic. So movable weight gives us an opportunity to position that discretionary weight either back, directly in line with the face for maximum forgiveness, or shift it down in the heel, speed up the toe release a little bit, and make it a little more draw biased. So first impressions, what do you think?
Yeah, when you look at it, it obviously looks like, okay, the weight is in the heel. No matter what you do, we put the 12 gram in the heel, so it's max draw. You could put the 12 gram back here, but there's still a 3 gram, and it's just preloaded to go left. It's preloaded to fix a slice.
Yep.
That's what a lot of the companies are doing, and it is right there in front of you. When you put it down, it is definitely a little bit more closed, so that is a definite thing. Now, it is a flat face, so it's like it's got that hammer characteristic of the LS and the core driver. But you can see that the weight is pulled back away from that face of that golf club, so it's a little bit more of like a triangle shape, but it's not. It's not like it's not like it's in the way. It doesn't look bad. So it's got the same carbon look to it. Everything's about the same. It's obviously in the same family. So let's see how it performs. There's a left one. I went with it a little bit more. Hit that a little bit more in the center. Yeah, I think it's spinning a little bit more, so it's not going quite as far.
Yeah, spin's definitely up for sure. Launch has come up, spin has come up. But one thing I've definitely noticed with this head in particular is just the stability. So impact position on all of those shots has been a little bit more towards the toe. And I mean, ball flight down range and dispersion, very tight.
Yeah. Yeah, and the toe hits don't feel horrible. A lot of times when I hit the toe, it's like the thing really opens and it's not a very good feel, but that was pretty solid. Let's see if I can hit one in the middle of the golf club. It's a little toed.
Let's get one more good one for the sample here.
Yeah, a little low on the face. Yeah, see, it's a little bit spinny. So this is a little bit too much on the spin area. And you know, when you're fitting drivers, sometimes you need spin.
Absolutely.
That's one of the tougher things to do. So when I see a driver that can add spin, I'm like, okay, that's, I put that away in the memory bank and I'm like, okay, I'll bring that out when I need it. So this one seems to be a little bit more spinny. Obviously we can affect that a little bit, and especially when you put that weight in the heel. But yeah, I think this is a good complement to the line.
Oh, perfect. So taking a look at our recap here with Aerojet Max, we definitely saw, as advertised, a lot more movement right to left as kind of the consistent ball flight with this driver.
Yeah. It's discernible. Like you can really see what this golf club's supposed to do. It's a big difference. Obviously the ball speed's gonna be down a little bit for me because I have a tendency to overreact to too much weight in the heel. I have a tendency to lift the handle and get a little scared of the left. So when it's left bias, I freak out a little bit, but that's just me. But you know, it does what it's supposed to do, and it's gonna be really good when I'm trying to fix a slice. It's not a lot draw bias, but it's just enough to fix what I need to fix. Spin rate goes up just because the weight is in the place that it is. If we took those weights and changed them, I'm sure that the weight would go, or the spin would go where the core driver was. But overall, it all does what it's supposed to do. The LS is fast off the head, a little bit lower in the spin, got out there pretty darn good. I mean, the rollout was good, everything was good, and then that core driver surprised me as far as that spin rate goes.
Yeah.
But this one definitely, I kind of knew it was going to happen, and it did happen. So that's a good thing.
And for a player, I mean, kind of like myself that falls into that low launch, low spin category, I mean, something along those lines that doesn't have a big bias to the left side as much as some of the other heads that we've seen in the marketplace, but still gives us a good opportunity to produce more launch and spin. I mean, that might be a really good option to consider.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I like the line. I like it all. I like the aesthetics a lot. I mean, I think it's wearing its tech on its sleeve. It's great. It's a great driver.
So again, I think Cobra did a good job here, and I think it's going to be a good year for the Aerojet family.
Yeah, for the sleeper company is what I like to call them.
There you go.
Cobra, the sleeper company.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to give us a like, subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment, let us know what you want to see next.